What's going on, everybody? What's good with y'all? My name is Terrence, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the 2014 Korean movie The Royal Tailor. But before we get into that, here's a little recap. The movie starts off with a modern-day press conference where they recognize someone named Choi Do-suk as a revolutionary tailor for the Choson fashion. For those who don't know, Choson, also called the Yi dynasty, was the last and longest living imperial dynasty in Korea. Right before they show one of his works, the story jumps back in time to the Chosun dynasty, where we see Suk-kyu. Suk-kyu has been a tailor for 3 generations of kings before finally being promoted to the head of royal attire. Because of his promotion, Suk-kyu will soon become a nobleman. Some time goes on, then the queen requests Suk-kyu to help fix and replace one of the king's robe that she accidentally got burned. Suk-kyu rejects the queen's request because Suk-kyu heavily sticks to old customs and traditions, along with the fact that he thinks it's impossible to cover up the mistakes in the given time. The queen, desperate to trying to find someone to cover her mistakes, was introduced to Lee Gong-ji. Gong-ji was a young talented tailor that was gaining traction for his new flashy, untraditional style of hanbok clothing. Gong-ji successfully fixed the king's robe, and both the king and the queen were satisfied with it. The queen will keep Gong-jin around and request him to make even more clothing for her. After the queen requested Gong-jin to make a clothing for the king as a gift, Gong-jin told the queen that instead she should hand make some undergarments for the king instead, saying that the gift would mean more if it came from herself. It is worth mentioning up to this point that the queen is still a virgin and the king seems to have no interest in her. The palace was going to belong to the king's brother, and the queen was initially a candidate for his brother to get married to. The brother, knowing that she liked the future queen, let him have her, and from that point on, the king always thought of the queen as his brother's leftovers. The queen finished the garments, but on her way to delivering it to the king, she noticed that there's another woman in her quarters. She came steaming back to her place. Here in this point of the story, it is evident that Gong-jin has feelings for the queen, and that the queen feels like she's trapped, and perhaps maybe even the queen likes Gong-jin back. While this was going on, Suk-kyu was slowly getting jealous of the popularity in which Gong-jin clothing and the fact that they were non-traditional and making the whole city look bad in his mind. Also, the prime minister went to talk to the king and complained about the new clothing that was going around outside the palace. The king sent Suk-kyu to take care of it. Suk-kyu went and stripped everyone of Gong-ji's clothing and burned it. While this was happening, there were rumors going around that the queen was soon to be dethroned and replaced by the king's mistress. There was a big ceremony coming up, and it seemed like the queen would not have a seat at the ceremony. Instead, it would be the king's mistress. Because of these rumors, Gong-jin went to the queen and proposed to make a huge dress that no one has ever seen before. He claims that no man, including the king, will be able to take their eyes off her. The queen accepts his proposal, and Gong-jin begins working on the dress. But then Suk-kyu goes to Gong-jin and finds out that he's making the dress. He warns him that he could be killed, and Gong-jin flees the palace while he works on the dress. In the meantime, Suk-kyu is tasked with making the king's mistress dress for the ceremony. Suk-kyu then goes through Gong-jin's stuff and finds some sketches for the new dress. Suk-kyu, thinking that those sketches would be the final product for the queen's dress, Suk-kyu steals the sketches and makes the dress. There is a jump cut to the ceremony, and the wife's mistress is introduced into the ceremony wearing the dress that Suk-kyu made. But then, all of a sudden, Gong-jin announces the queen into the ceremony. At first, everyone is shocked that the queen is there, but then they see the beauty in the queen and in her dress. As she walks up, everyone bows down to her. Later, Gong-jin meets up with the queen, saying that he would be leaving the palace for good. He basically says that he needs to leave to separate himself from the queen because he would continue to get in trouble if he continued to have feelings for her. As Gong-jin was leaving, he runs into the king, who entered the queen's quarters for the first time. The king didn't know what Gong-jin was doing with the queen. All he knew is that he didn't like it. The king's mistress told the king that she thinks the queen is seeing Gong-jin behind her back. For payback, the king told Suk-kyu to make an outfit that looks like the ones that Gong-jin makes. He does this, and then the king claims that there was a poisonous pin inside the outfit. The king claims that Gong-jin tried to assassinate him. The queen tries to defend the crap that he was talking. So then the king states that the possibility that both Gong-jin and the queen were up to the assassination. Gong-jin takes all the blame for the queen and then Gongjin is sent to the prison, set to be beheaded. In the prison, Dok-suk talks to Gongjin and claims that his work will be forgotten and that no one will ever remember him. Gongjin is later beheaded, and the queen and some of his friends mourn his death. Some time passed by, and Dok-suk is finally recognized as a nobleman. After that, he starts to burn all Gongjin's clothing when he comes across a green outfit with gold embroidery. This is an outfit that Gongjin told Dok-suk he would make for him as soon as he becomes an official nobleman. He then regrets his actions towards Gongjin, and as an apology, he starts to making clothes using Gongjin's style. The movie ends by transitioning back to the present day, back to the press conference where we see the dress that Gongjin made being credited to Dok-suk. So my initial thoughts on this movie is, man, why I gotta be so sad? I think I need to stop watching movies where the main character ends up dying at the end. I think it's just not good for my health, you know. But all jokes aside, this was an amazing movie. There was a really interesting plot, and just the aesthetics of the movie itself was amazing. I saw that the budget for this movie was 7 billion won, and 1 billion won of that just went into the costumes. And 1 billion won is about a little over 900,000 US dollars. So really, you got everything you want in a timepiece like this one. I thought all the actors did really well. The actor Suk-kyu did a really good job portraying Dok-suk, which was kind of like you couldn't tell throughout the movie if he was a good or bad guy. He had his own reasons to do what he did, but honestly, you can never forget him at the end. I don't care that he adopted Gongjin style clothing making. I still cannot forget him in his participation in getting him beheaded. The actor Yeon-seo did an excellent job in portraying Lee Gongjin. He honestly just gave huge main character vibes. He portrayed a nice dude that really cared for everyone, and especially the queen. Honestly, his thoughtfulness at the end is what got him killed, because he took the blame just to protect the queen for something that he did not do. The actor Park Shin-hye did an amazing job with the queen. You could feel the emotions of someone who was in a place that they wanted to be, but at the same time not. Her character, you could tell, always wanted to be a queen, but as soon as she became the queen, she realized that she was trapped and this is not the life she wanted. Actor Yeon-seo did an amazing job portraying the king. The king was an easy character to hate because he thought that he wasn't in control of his own palace, when in reality he was. The king's arrogance was single-handedly got Gongjin killed for really no reason. So in all, I thought this was an amazing show. You know, my only criticism is why is it got to be sad, you know? And really at the end, none of the problems were resolved. I guess that's what happens when you have a movie telling the story of a tragedy, but still, man, you kind of want a happy ending. I was shocked at the end because I was oh my god, he died and nothing changed. The queen was still trapped. The king and Dok-suk really got no punishments for their actions against Gongjin. Not to mention at the very end, Dok-suk got credited for all the work. In all, I'd rate this movie a 9 out of 10. This is a really amazing movie that I'd recommend to everyone. I decided for all the movies that I've seen so far to put them on a tier list, and I rated The Royal Tailor as an amazing movie, and the second highest tier on that tier list. So that's all I have to say on this movie, The Royal Tailor. If you guys have any recommendations on future movies you want me to review on this channel, please leave it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate if you like and maybe subscribe for future videos. This was a really great movie. My name is Terrence, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna fall one day, but I don't care. See ya.